Former President Donald Trump has hired South Carolina lawyer Butch Bowers to represent him at his upcoming impeachment trial. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi says that she will soon send the article of impeachment to the Senate. CBS News congressional correspondent Kris Van Cleave reports.
What a difference a day makes.
As Democrats took their victory lap celebrating control of both the House and the Senate for the first time in a decade, Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell plans to propose waiting until next month to begin the second impeachment trial of former President Donald Trump. The looming trial threatens to drown out any talk of Congress working together.
They want to start the new Congress, the very first thing, with a vindictive and punitive impeachment trial. I don't think that reflects the priorities of the American people.
Leader McConnell and I are trying to come up with a bipartisan agreement on how to conduct the trial, but make no mistake about it, there will be a trial.
The Senate is ready to receive managers appointed by the House.
And on the House floor, a procedural step forward. The Senate now formally acknowledges it's waiting on Speaker Nancy Pelosi to send over the articles of impeachment.
I'm not going to be telling you when it is going.
House Democrats could vote early next month on portions of President Biden's $1.9 trillion COVID relief package, while a bipartisan group of 16 senators plan to meet with the Biden White House this weekend, hoping to craft a compromise.
On this vote, the yeas are 84, the nays are 10. The nomination is confirmed.
Avril Haines, the new director of national intelligence, was the first member of Biden's cabinet confirmed last night. Today, Pete Buttigieg had his confirmation hearing for Secretary of Transportation, and retired General Lloyd Austin's nomination as Defense Secretary is proceeding towards confirmation.
And our newly appointed congressional correspondent, Kris Van Cleave, joins me now. Kris, great to see you there in the rotunda. Republicans want to delay former President Trump's impeachment trial. Talk to us about why they're interested in pushing for this February date.
Well, Lana, great to be with you here. Now, Republicans would say that it's not actually fair to call it a delay because the Speaker of the House has not yet delivered the article of impeachment, so they're not really delaying anything from the Republican perspective. But what they are saying is the House process moved so fast that they would like to delay this effort a couple of weeks, move the effort a couple of weeks, if you will, so that the former president, has time to build his defense team and prepare an appropriate defense. So we would see things really sort of kicking off more in February than in January. And that may also have some benefit to the Democrat side up here in that it would give the Senate more time to focus on confirming President Biden's cabinet. So it is possible you see some agreement here on that point in the Senate.
Well, Kris, what more can you tell us about former President Trump's defense? We were hearing from some members of Congress on that point today.
Yeah, it appears that Senator Lindsey Graham of South Carolina is going to be acting almost as the de facto spokesperson for the former president up here. Senator Graham, on a conference call with Republicans today, announced that the president had hired his first attorney, the beginnings of his impeachment defense team. And then Senator Graham came out with a statement this evening saying that the former president supports McConnell's proposed timeline about starting impeachment at least in a couple of weeks, as opposed to rushing into it as soon as next week.
The Senate is also, as you mentioned, busy confirming President Biden's cabinet nominees, that process taking place at this very moment. What more can you tell us about that process, where it is right now, as well as Biden's pick for defense secretary, which we've talked about before, the special waiver that he needs to receive?
Right. So we saw today Mayor Pete Buttigieg up here on the Hill having his confirmation hearing. It was fairly mundane. There was one tense exchange between Senator Cruz and Mayor Pete, but for the most part, that proceeded as a confirmation hearing would, and it appears that Mayor Pete has some support from the right as well as Democrats, so that likely continues to advance. Today, when we're talking about General Austin, both the House and the Senate passed the waiver that would allow him to hold the office of Secretary of Defense, and that waiver is necessary because he hasn't been retired from the military as a general long enough to hold the office without a waiver from Congress. We expect a vote on Austin's confirmation tomorrow. It is possible we also get a vote on Janet Yellen, the Treasury Secretary designate, tomorrow as well. Potentially some movement on the Secretary of State pick next week. So some things are happening here. I think if you're probably the Biden administration, you might want to see things happen a little bit faster, but they are making some progress.
Well, the first cabinet-level appointee that has been confirmed, Avril Haines, she was confirmed Wednesday as Director of National Intelligence. Talk to our viewers about the significance, Kris, of that being the first cabinet-level position that was approved, and what issues will Haines be focused on during her first days in office?
Well, certainly the Biden administration and the new Democratic majority up here on the Hill have been saying it's vitally important that the Biden national security team be confirmed and in place as soon as possible. Haines was the first vote up that happened last night, overwhelming bipartisan support there. And she takes office as you have not only the concerns about terrorism abroad, but a renewed focus on domestic terror. In fact, all of the intelligence we have been reporting on leading up to the inauguration was the concern that domestic terrorism would be the biggest threat to U.S. safety and security in 2021. So a lot of her job is going to be managing not only the foreign intelligence that her office would normally handle, but also looking potentially at managing some of the domestic potential threats as well.
All right, Kris, thank you so much for joining us. It's good to see you there.
Sure thing.